So you've done your research, your homework, you've been watching the videos, you've been using the tools, and you're ready to make the trip. You're ready to come see what Wichita is looking like, maybe one of the surrounding areas. We got to pump the brakes real quick. Some stuff's changed in the real estate world. We've got some stuff kind of coming up. So I figured now couldn't be a better time to update kind of what to expect when you're making that trek down, up, around, depending on wherever, to Wichita or one of the surrounding areas. You want to make sure you stay till the end because you don't want to miss this. We're getting after it. So you've been doing your homework, you've been watching the videos, you've been using the tools, and you're ready. So you think you're ready. Well, we got to pump the brakes real quick and just kind of give you an idea what to expect. We want to make sure we're putting that best foot forward when you make that trip down, up, around, wherever. So first and foremost, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, the settlement with NAR is going to change some things come July. Figured, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's have the conversation right. One of those things, we'll have to sign a buyer's agency agreement before we start showing. So just to put it simply, what that means is we'll have to sit down, have that conversation, kind of outline that time frame that relationship would be going on. A begin date, an end date, kind of an idea of the price range you're looking for, what loans you're considering, if you're getting a loan, cash, what you're looking for. And this agreement is between you as the buyer and the brokerage. And depending on what type of agency, yes, there's more than one, we'll kind of outline what that. Just putting it in the quickest, simplest form. Another thing is, and this is come July, they're no longer going to be able to show whether or not that a commission is being offered for the buyer. They still can, and what this will look like is one of three situations. They'll either cover it, or it'll have to be negotiated and they'll cover it, or it'll be one of those situations where you as the buyer will. Not really a fun conversation to be having. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's make sure you are informed before making that trek. And like I said, this is going to be coming up in July, so let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get it over so you're aware. Now, kind of beyond that, kind of update kind of what to expect. And really, it's going to kind of come down to one of two. But before we get into that, homework. You have an idea where you want to go. I've got playlists on Wichita. I've got playlists on all the surrounding suburbs, some of the towns. So get an idea what works best for you, because it's going to be different. What is your why? Is it a fresh start? Are you going to school? Maybe your kid is going to school. Maybe you used to live here. Whatever that reason is, what is your why? Write that down. What are you needing? Are you needing to be close to those amenities? Are you needing to be close to a hospital? Is it a matter of convenience? Do you want to be close to all your shopping amenities, your grocery? Are you looking to be close to a particular job? Do you have a job lined up, whether that's civilian or that's military? Are you needing a little space between you and the neighbor? You want to live in the suburbs? Are you wanting to, what's your situation? Be specific before we have that conversation. Have an idea where, what, why. And from there, with what you're needing, what you're wanting, prioritize that list. What is most important? You might have to compromise. And I know that's not a fun word to use, but let's be real. I'm just be real, be honest. We want to set you up so we can make the most of that time we have. So kind of what that looks like, whether it's a phone call, it's a text message, it's an email, it's a DM, however. Then that next step will lead to a video comp. We use Google Meets, and if you have a Google Gmail and you're on a computer, no change. You'll get an invite, click the invite, bam. If it's on a phone, you'll have to have that app. So kind of from there, we'll have that conversation. Give me an idea. What exactly you think, time, the budget, the wants, the why, and kind of from there we can get that trip on the schedule. I'm talking to people each and every day, coast to coast, people in the local market. We get busy. The last thing I want you to do is to make that impromptu trip last minute, and that's not a brag on I've got a lot going on. Just it is what it is. When I'm in front of that person, when we're out doing what we need to do to get them where they need to be, they have my undivided attention. So, if I don't get back with you right away, that's most likely the reason. We try to get back in a timely manner. And, I just want you to know that up front. So typically, if if we haven't sat down, had a conversation, we haven't scheduled that out, there's a way we got to do things. We got to get you in the schedule. We don't want to fly by the seat of our pants. So that is very important. So, I mean, just being upfront, being honest. If we don't have that scheduled, if I don't have that scheduled, we're probably it's not going to happen. And we have to do that. That's the way we have to set things up. So when you're reaching out, have your homework done. Have an idea, your why, what, where. Have an idea. Paint this picture for me so we can make the most of that time together. Sit down, we'll have that conversation, whether that's just you and me, that's you, me, and a lender. We've got to have that conversation up front. So in addition to having that consultation, we've got to have that consultation before we start looking at houses. We also need you pre-approved. So that trip is going to look like one of two situations. It's going to be either a discovery trip, and that's you coming down, checking everything out, what that looks like, or you're ready to pull the trigger, you're coming down, and we're touring home. So if you're in that discovery trip, you're coming out, you want to see what everything looks like. I mean, we've got wheels to the ground, Google Maps, all kinds of different stuff, pros, cons, all that information, all those tools. Feel free to check them out. I'll throw the playlist up somewhere. But that discovery tour, you're not gonna be looking at homes. You're not touring homes, we'll say. Based on kind of what you're looking for, what's important, we're gonna hand you that list. It's gonna give you an idea where these things that are important to you are, what things look like, so you can take a look. Now, you're ready to pull the trigger. We've done all the homework. We've sat down. We've gotten what we need done. From there, yeah, it's on the schedule. We've done everything we need to do. We're gonna come down. We're gonna show you around. We're gonna tour home, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So what that looks like, it really just kind of depends. And we can do that in person. We can do it virtually. Like I said, Google Meets is what we use to have that face-to-face virtually. I also use it when I'm doing virtual showings, tours. It really just depends on you and your situation. We can make either one work, but we need to know what your plan is. We want to make sure we have all this information up front so we can plan accordingly. Very, very important. Some of this stuff, especially if you're touring homes, you're making offers, getting to that closing table. Title company's going to need to know if you're here, and inspections, all that other stuff. Whether you're the type, I got to be there, or hey, it's okay, just do it virtual. We've done both. I've had times where I haven't met the client until we're at the close, and that's fine. We need to make sure we have that conversation up front. What that looks like. Like I said, your what, your why, your where, how you plan on going about doing this, if it's going to be in person, if it's going to be virtual, or if it's going to be some kind of hype, and just setting you up for success. Like I said, no two people situations are the same. So we have to make it as painfully obvious as possible. Get into it. This is kind of what it looks like. So just real quick recap, have the homework. What, why, where, a time frame, a budget. What does that trip look like if you're making the trip? Is it the discovery trip, or are you ready to pull the trigger? Is that going to be in person? Is that going to be virtual? So the discovery trip, just being transparent, it's going to be a more hands-off kind of trip. We're going to kind of give you an idea based on what is important to you. Hey, the restaurants, the grocery, the shopping options, your amenities. That's going to be a little more hands. We're focusing on the people that need the help. Like I said, we give them our undivided attention. And when you're ready, you will get no less as well. You will have my. So we just kind of have to be upfront, give you an idea what to expect, so we don't want to leave it to chance. So what that looks like. All right, now what that looks like, kind of what that entails up front. So there's no surprise. Do the homework, kind of get an idea what kind of trip that is, and go from there. Having that consultation, getting you pre-approved, and getting it on the books. Just if it's not on the books, it's probably not going to happen, at least with me. I got to be up front. I got to be to the point. And I don't know, let me know what you think. Hopefully this is helpful. Let me know what questions you have. If we've kind of outlined what this looks like, and if you got any value, do me a solid. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you got a question, make sure you reach out. Morning, noon, early night, guys, please. Weekends, I got your back when relocating, moving to Wichita and the surrounding areas. So anyways, until the next one, guys, see you later.